Back home, rolling teacher strikes taking place around the country continued in Canterbury today. Primary and intermediate teachers marching in Christchurch echoed the message of their colleagues further north. They also want pay increases and improved working conditions, but they say that their classrooms are even more complex as they continue to deal with the effects of the earthquake and the associated trauma. Katie Todd reports.
Our kids need to reach their best.
As hundreds of teachers marched from Horncastle Arena to Hagley Park, their message was clear. They want more money, more resources and smaller class sizes. And they say classrooms in post-quake Canterbury face even more challenges than most. Ninochka Mackay's 9-year-old daughter, Isla, attends Rolleston Christian School. She says Canterbury children need extra support and resources in the classroom as they deal with earthquake trauma.
My child is one that was 2 during the earthquakes, so she's managed quite well and she's quite resilient, but there are children who aren't coping as well, and I think government really needs to acknowledge that Christchurch does have mental health issues that aren't prevalent throughout the rest of the country.
She says big classroom sizes of 60+ students aren't the best place for vulnerable children.
It's a huge ask for the average child to self-manage in a classroom of 60+ children. But for children with behavioural issues, this is impossible, and we're not setting our teachers up to succeed, we're setting them up to fail.
Shirley Hirangi Harrison, a teacher from Beckenham School, says teaching in Canterbury isn't necessarily more difficult than anywhere else in the country, but it definitely brings different challenges.
Yes, we've got to cope with maybe different sets of things, probably slightly different stresses for our parents and our teachers given the nature of what they have to live in. However, the job remains the same, and the fact that we're not given the support and the resource and the people to cope with the conditions is what we're most upset about.
She says the protest isn't just about getting a pay rise, it's about making teaching a profession that people want.
We can't get relievers, we can't retain the young staff because nobody wants to do this job. So it's not, for us it's not about the money, it never was about the money. This is about getting the support to do the job that we want to do and to be able to do it well and give it the aroha that it deserves.
Bevan Turner is studying to be a primary school teacher at the University of Canterbury and says he isn't put off from entering the profession with 1 year to go in his studies. But he says it's clear there is a huge amount of work to do in Canterbury.
I've seen it firsthand in schools that since before the earthquakes and now kids are coming into new entrance classrooms and the like, not knowing basic things like how to read or how to count or even what their own name is and how to recognise their own name when it's written down. And it's quite a heartbreaking thing to see that in our schools there are kids who need this really intentional, deliberate support and they're not being able to get it.
Today's strike is estimated to have affected more than 50,000 schoolchildren. For many of them, it was the perfect day to head along to Christchurch's A&P show, with the show director saying it was a far bigger crowd than usual. The rolling strike continues tomorrow for the rest of the South Island and then Wellington on Friday. For Checkpoint in Christchurch, call Katie Todd 10A.